Luke Williams, you've led Notts County back into the EFL. Has it sunk in yet?
No, not really. I know it's happened, but somehow I feel like it hasn't. But yeah, bit by bit, it's sinking in.
What was your take on the game?
That we played against a very, very good team with real quality. I felt like we were very nervous in the opening stages. Sorry, Ruben is laughing at me.
And now you're being serenaded by your staff, George Lawty and Joel the Bajrami.
Apologies, sorry. I will compose myself. No, we faced a team with real quality. We faced a team with experience in the technical area, and they set the team up incredibly well to exploit things that can be a problem for us. And we have to be brave and play the same way that we played, because otherwise we cause ourselves incredible problems. Geraldo Bajrami, what a guy. And so in the beginning I thought we looked nervous. We hesitate whether to step up the line or whether to drop, and we got disjointed. I think Sam made an error early on with a goal kick, just the occasion, the atmosphere. And so we had a bad feeling. When you make an error like that, you have emotion. So then I felt like we got to grips with the game, and we start to control the flow of the game. We got back in, and then of course to go behind again is a terrible, terrible blow. But these guys are so tough, mentally so tough, and they found a way back in.
What do the last two games say about the playoffs as a thing? Because two very un-Notts County-like performances, would it be fair to say? But two victories nevertheless.
No, I, honestly, this is a mad thing, because we could have lost in the semi-final. We could have lost today for sure. So it's a crazy thing I'm going to say, but I'm really, really pleased, because to be able to overcome Matty Palmer.
I don't think anybody can overcome Matty Palmer. I think he's...
Sorry, yeah. No, but genuinely is really important, because for us to be able to play in these big occasions under pressure and still have clarity of mind to play football well is really, really important, because at some point this group of players will have to reflect on the Bournemouth game and this game today, and they will have to improve their performance in the future when we play in big cup games, one-off games. They have to improve their performance, because in the league there cannot be a question mark over this group, because 107 points good enough to win any title.
We've got Toby Adebayo rolling, trying to tell us that Luke Williams is a good manager, and Junior Mariah seems to agree, as does Frank Vincent. I think you're preaching to the converted, Toby. Thanks though. Yeah, we all love him. Lovely stuff, Toby. Thank you very much.
This guy, by the way, is wearing his match shirt, his match shorts, and a pair of Kickers Wallabies, or a pair of Clark's Wallabies, sorry, and he still looks unreal, by the way.
He does, fantastic.
What a character.
It went to penalties, and it eventually became Kedwin Scott's responsibility to send us into the Football League. How incredible the way that football works sometimes, in obviously what was taken away from him, that potential moment at Wrexham, compared with what was given to him in front of 20,000 fans, and that goal behind you today.
Yeah, and the best thing about this is that Kedwin was distraught after that penalty miss at Wrexham, and of course we were all devastated. But Kedwin is a very, very good player. He's a goal scorer, and he's very, very driven. He really wants to do well. He's not a guy that doesn't care or messes about all the time, and so then you question when he gets to a big moment and he misses. You think, a guy that messes around all the time and doesn't care and doesn't have determination, doesn't do extra work, you then think, he missed because he's not ready. But Kedwin missed because he missed. Because in that moment, the goalkeeper done great and he saved it. That's different. And so then we had a brilliant moment outside the stadium at Wrexham with Kedwin and Kedwin's father. And we said, we're gonna be in big games again, and I'm gonna trust you again for sure. And imagine one kick to take this club up, Kedwin Scott. So when you have suffer really bad, try to make some good out, try to, and that was a good moment, because when the emotions are that high, and when you are together with his father, who is important to him, really important to Kedwin, and Kedwin at his lowest moment, then you say it's going to be okay, you're going to do again. And he done it.
It's been a long season. It's been such a story around it. How surreal was that moment where we were one penalty kick away from Wembley? Personally, I couldn't quite fathom the magnitude of the situation, because it feels like every single second of every day we've been living the title race and then living the playoff campaign, and then all of a sudden it comes down to that one moment. Take us inside your mind when Kedwin is just about to strike the ball.
I think the things that ran through my mind a lot, very, very quickly, was that we deserve. And then when I stared at Kedwin and I thought, he's going to score. That was the two things. One was that we deserved to win. I'm not saying we deserved to win in the game, because I thought Chesterfield were brilliant and I thought they caused us a lot of problems. I don't think it was a huge amount between the two teams. It's not like I think they blew us away and they were so unlucky. I thought they were very good. At times they were far better than us, I thought, and then at times we were far better than them. So I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about a long season of consistency, of very high performance. So I felt, standing there, very quickly in my mind, I thought, we deserve this, come on. And then I looked at Kedwin and the way he's shaped up, and I thought, he's going to score. And then I turned to Ryan Harley and I said to Ryan, if he scores, have we won? And he went, yeah. I said, do you promise me? Because I was rattled. And he said, no, I promise you, if he scores, we've won.
He kept his promise. The celebrations were absolutely fantastic afterwards. But before we move on to the future and the post-match stuff, I think we need to shine a light on the work that the club did in preparing for a potential penalty shootout in the playoffs. Can you just give us a bit of insight into that?
Yeah, I think everyone needs to love Tom Will, honestly.
Our goalkeeping coach?
Yes, yeah. The fans, they need to love him. They need to love him as much as I do, because he is so desperate to do well, and he goes beyond his duties, like many of the staff. This staff is incredible. And John Bostock's goal, Tom Will.
In what way?
He assessed the goalkeeper's positioning before the game, and he's put in the mind of the players he can leave a big gap. Then of course you need John Bostock, because John Bostock has big mentality, really big mentality. So then he goes bang and he scores, but it's a joint effort. Then the preparation and the research that Tom done for penalty shootout, and he brings to me, and it's my job to then make a decision, are we going to do this or not? And when he put that level of work in, you say, okay, we're doing it. Then we structured a week to make penalties twice, before Boreham Wood and before this game. Penalties for the outfield players and penalties for the goalkeepers. Who's the best goalkeeper to save the penalties, and who are the best takers to take them? And Wheelie gave us incredible insight into how to win a penalty shootout. The guy's unbelievable. The guy is unbelievable. He should be a hero of the club.
Well, he is now, you've said it. Obviously it's your first year at the club, and you've marked it with exactly what you set out to achieve and what I suppose is expected of Notts County when they're in the National League. But I think, having experienced the National League, and obviously you've seen it for a year now, it's a very difficult division. How much progress do you feel the club has made in this division over the years, do you think?
Very steady progress, and I think that this is today a success for not just myself, but for Neil Ardley and for Ian Birchnell. It's a huge success for them. I know that Neil Ardley is still a competitor in the division, but he has to be credited with this result, and so does Ian Birchnell, because long before I was in the frame for this job, they were working really hard to bring Notts County forward and make them more modern, more progressive club, to start to try to play, to dominate the games, and that's really difficult. And they began the process and changed the mindset. Then Ian Birchnell comes in and he picked up the work that Neil Ardley done, and he tried to push the club forward, more modern, more dominant, more victories and so on. And then I'm very fortunate because I come in to continue the work, and I am fully aware. I'm not naive to think that I came here and changed everything on my own. I didn't. It's just not true. And these guys are very, very good, very talented and very hard-working men that set the thing in motion. And they were given the support by the brilliant owners. That's the key thing. If you have the brilliant owners and then they employ a really progressive and good quality, hard-working coach, and then they stay and they continue to try to build, then you can have this. And this is look how difficult it is. 107 points, you still can't guarantee promotion. So imagine if Neil Ardley and Ian Birchnell didn't do all that work. And imagine the owners got fed up and they tried to completely change everything and not continue the process. We couldn't do it.
Football is such that immediately you look to the next thing, and I know you've got lots of celebrations and quite rightly to do, but the conversation, I'd imagine, on Wembley Way, on the tubes, in the pubs, on the supporters' buses going back to Nottingham already will be, where can we go from here? Clearly we've made massive strides under you and your staff, club record breaking season, all that sort of stuff, but how much more of a positive position are we in League Two than we are in the National League in terms of taking the club forward as a whole?
I feel like if we didn't win today, we have a potential rebuild, because it'd be very difficult to persuade some really top players to stay with us on the journey, because they will have caught so much attention for their brilliant performances, and someone will offer them an opportunity they cannot refuse. But now we can fend off opportunities if they're not so incredible. And so we are not rebuilding, we're trying to build on top of a foundation, and that's a very, very different thing.
What's the plan tonight?
Tonight I'm going to have a shandy, and then I will probably have an early night.
I'm sure. Enjoy that early night, Lou.
Thanks very much.